Today we're going to learn how to do a Mabu punch properly. It may be one of the basic moves of Kung Fu, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to do with mobility and power. Hey everyone, I'm Damien, the Kung Fu coach, and I'm here to help you learn Kung Fu and stay fit for life. Now, I'm always telling you, give that like button a good hard Mabu punch, so I figure it's probably time to actually tell you how to do that properly. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is step out into Mabu. I'm just going to cover the basics. If you are unsure about anything, you can check out this lesson here where I go into all of the details. So I'm going to step my left foot out, about the distance of one of my legs, squat down and push my knees out nice and wide. As I do that, I'm going to extend my left arm out, forming a fist, and my entire arm is going to stay at shoulder level. Meanwhile, my right hand is going to pull back to my hip, fist just resting there. Okay, so we start standing and we step out to Mabu. This is basically our ready position. You can step out to the right, but generally people step out to the left in Kung Fu. Don't know why. So we step out to the left hand comes out, right hand comes back. From this position, we don't just want to throw the arms. There's absolutely no power in this whatsoever. We need to get our full body involved, our hips involved, our legs involved. Everything needs to coordinate and synchronize to get maximum power. So first thing we're going to do from this position, we're actually going to go forwards. We're going to reach the left hand forward, the left hip is going to come forward, and this is going to give us more room to then move with the other side of the body. So that reaches forward and then we pull back. Hip comes back, hand comes back, and we rotate the fist as it comes back to our left hip, okay? So we're in a starting position, we reach forwards, and then we pull back. That's the first element. Second element is what's happening on the right hand side of the body. By reaching forward, we naturally end up pulling the right hand side back a little bit, and then as the left hand comes back, we throw the right hand out, move that right hip forward. So left comes back, right goes out. Okay, so one side moves one direction and the other moves in the opposite direction. The reason that we move the left hand side forward rather than thinking about moving the right hand back is if we move the right hand back, we might get a little bit unbalanced, topple over a little bit, whereas leaning the left forward, it still pulls the right back, but allows us to stay a little bit more balanced, a little bit easier to focus on that forward motion. This then gives us the room to get a bit more into that right hand side punch. Okay, so that's the absolute basics. We reach forward to prepare, then pull back and throw out with the other side. Reach forward to prepare, pull back and throw out on the other side. Now, next thing we need to do, rather than just switching, we need to make sure that we're getting full extension. It's very easy to stop short and again, reduce the amount of power that you're delivering. We want the maximum range of motion that we can over this movement. So I'm going to step out again, I'm going to reach forward to prepare, and then as I punch, I don't just stop here, I reach as far as I can, still keep a little bit of a bend in the arm. We don't want to fully straighten it because it will hurt our elbow, but a little bit of bend in the arm, fully reach through the body. So the hips twist through, so the right hip comes forward, the shoulder comes forward as well, and this is my full extension. But I don't want to stay out here, I then relax back to a more neutral spot. So we're getting that extra range of motion by pulling one side back, then throwing it all the way forward, and then coming back to that neutral middle position. Now, one thing that we want to really think about is getting the rhythm, and as we get faster with this. We don't want to be like this, throwing that forward, getting ready, and then go, right, okay, now what do I got to do? Okay, forward, and go. We want to be able to do this quickly. We want to be able to go. We still need to have that preparatory motion even when we're going fast. When you go really, really fast, we have to sacrifice it. There's just not enough time. But we don't want to be too slow because we're thinking about, oh yeah, got to get ready and then throw. You've got to get that natural rhythm. So the way to do this is think about having that arm out. You go forward, pull back, punch out, back, forward, pull back, punch out, back. So each time an arm is kind of going forward twice. Forward, back. Now this punching arm comes forward to punch, comes back, forward to prepare, and back. Forward to punch, forward to prepare. See? 1, 2, 1, 2. And if you get into that kind of rhythm, you can start getting faster and faster with these punches. Now, it will take practice. You'll have to start relatively slow. You'll have to get used to that motion of coming forward and throwing, and then coming forward and throwing. But if you can get that idea of the double forward with your rhythm, it'll make it much easier to speed things up in the future. Alright, so there's 2 more elements that are really going to perfect this movement. But first, if you have found this useful so far, make sure you put what you learnt to use and give that like button a good hard Mabu punch. Okay, so the last 2 elements then. First is the alignment of your elbow with your wrist. What you don't want to do is, as you punch out, flare your elbow out too much. If you come too far out, you haven't got good alignment along the arm, and you're not going to get good power delivery. What you want is that elbow to come directly behind the wrist as much as possible. So you punch out with your palm facing towards the ceiling, and then you twist your arm so your palm ends up facing down towards the ground. As you do so, the elbow is pretty much tracking behind the fist. Okay? It will naturally come out a little bit as you're punching, but as I say, not all the way out. Try and as much as possible keep it aligned. Thing number 2 is your knees. As you could do this, there'll be a natural tendency to start buckling the knees in quite a lot. You might end up in a very bad looking Mabu, a bit like this. We don't want that. So keep those knees pushed out all the time. You can come forward, and that knee is going to come forward as your hip turns in, and then you're going to punch, and then as you punch, that knee will come forward. So it's not going to be the most beautiful Mabu you've ever seen. You're not going to be here, perfect, amazing form. It's going to get a little bit sloppy looking, but that's fine. Mabu is meant to be used. So we're going to move around a little bit, but each time we move, each time we punch, make sure we come back to at least this a half decent Mabu. And we punch, and we come back. Don't let all that punching kind of work your way down into this collapsed position. So push those knees out, open those hips up, and remember, keep that fist alignment as you punch. Alright, that's pretty much it for Mabu punching. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but if you're going to get it perfect, those details do need to be right. Hopefully that's been useful for you guys. If you want more content on learning Kung Fu or just staying fit, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.